If a stranger calls your name during Mardi Gras, don't turn around right away, because in this city, sometimes the people who know you are the ones you've never met. This happened in February 2019 in New Orleans, the night before the main parade. I came there alone. I just wanted to feel the atmosphere, the music, the crowds, the night energy of the city. By 10 in the evening, downtown was already overflowing, people in costumes, masks, paint. Some laughing, some singing, some barely able to walk straight. It felt loud, bright, but not dangerous, until I heard my name, Mark. At first, I didn't even realize it was meant for me. The voice came from somewhere behind, swallowed by music. I assumed I imagined it. I kept walking. Mark, closer this time. I stopped. Slowly, I turned around. A man stood behind me in a dark coat and a gold carnival mask. No costume, no decorations, just the mask and a calm posture. He was looking directly at me. "Do we know each other?" I asked. He shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "But you remember me." I felt a small knot of tension, but brushed it off. "Sorry, I don't." He tilted his head slightly. "You stopped at the coffee shop on the corner this morning," he said. "Ordered black coffee and stared at your phone map." I didn't answer because it was true. "Half the tourists do that," I replied. "Not impressive." He gave a faint smile. "You checked a message from your sister at 2:12 p.m. Something tightened in my chest. That had also happened. "You following me?" I asked, sharper now. "No," he said calmly. "I just happened to be walking nearby." There was something unsettling about how steady his voice was. "Look," I said, "I don't know what this is, but I'm not interested." I turned and walked back into the crowd. Within a minute, I almost forgot about him until I heard it again. "Mark." This time from my right. I turned fast. He was there again. Same coat, same mask, same calm posture. "How did you?" I started. "You'll get lost tonight," he said softly. "Everyone does at least once." "I'll find my way," I replied. "Yes," he said, "but not immediately." Then he turned and slowly disappeared into the crowd. I stood there trying to shake off the feeling, and that's when I noticed the street looked different. The music felt distant. There were fewer people. I didn't recognize the buildings anymore. I pulled out my phone. Almost no signal. The map wouldn't load. I kept walking, trying to find something familiar. After a few minutes, I ended up on a narrow, poorly lit street, and he was there again, as if waiting. "You said you'd find your way," he said. Now, I felt real unease. "What do you want?" I asked. He paused. "Nothing," he replied. "I'm just here to make sure you take the right road." "And what road is that?" He pointed down the street. "That one." I hesitated. "Why should I trust you?" He tilted his head again. "Because you already did. When you decided to come here alone." We stood there in silence. Then I walked the direction he'd pointed. After about a minute, the street suddenly opened onto the main avenue again. Bright, loud, full of people. Like I'd never been lost at all. I turned around. He was gone. I never saw him again that night. But the next morning, as I was leaving the city, I noticed something on the inside of my car window, written in the fog. One word, my name. I know I didn't write it, and since then, I know one thing about Mardi Gras. Sometimes the city doesn't want you to get lost. Sometimes it just wants you to know. It noticed you. If you ever see a familiar face in a mask during Mardi Gras, don't rush to greet them, because in this city, people don't just get lost in the crowd. Sometimes they get replaced. This happened in February 2018 in Galveston during Mardi Gras week. I was there with my older cousin, Daniel. He'd been before, I hadn't. Before we left the hotel, he gave me one rule: stay close. In these crowds, it's not just wallets that disappear. I laughed it off. It was a festival. Music, beads, masks, parades. Nothing dangerous. By evening, the streets were packed so tightly you couldn't move without being carried by the crowd. Brass bands played on every corner. People danced in the road. Balconies were draped in purple, green, and gold. At first, it felt chaotic, but fun. The problem started after sunset, because in the dark, every mask looks the same. We stood at an intersection, waiting for the night parade. Daniel was on my right, wearing a dark jacket and a plain white, expressionless mask he'd bought from a street vendor a minute earlier. I turned away for just a second to pick up a bead necklace that had fallen near my feet. When I straightened up, he was still beside me, but now he was staring directly at me. "You ready?" I asked. He nodded. We moved forward with the crowd. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Music thundered. People shouted and laughed. Beads rained down from floats. Daniel walked next to me, sometimes a step behind, but always close enough to feel his shoulder. Then I mentioned I wanted to find some water. He didn't respond. I assumed he hadn't heard me over the noise. I said it again, louder. Nothing. I turned my head. The mask was staring at me. No movement, no voice. "You good?" I asked. He nodded again. That was the first moment something felt off. Daniel was never that quiet. Especially at festivals, I decided to test him. "Remember when we got lost in the Colorado mountains last summer?" No reaction, just a slow nod, like someone who hadn't heard the question but knew they were supposed to agree. A cold feeling crept in. "Hey," I said, forcing a laugh, "take the mask off. I want to make sure you're breathing in there." He didn't move. The crowd surged forward. Someone pushed between us. I lost sight of him for a second. When the people shifted away, he was next to me again, closer than before, and his head tilted slightly to the side. The way people do when they're trying to understand you, but don't know how to act. That's when I realized something. In the last 10 minutes, I hadn't heard Daniel's voice once. "Say something," I whispered. Nothing. The music pounded, like the heartbeat of the city, and he just stood there, watching. I stepped back. He stepped forward, instantly. No delay. No sound. I turned and forced my way through the crowd, just moving forward, not looking back. People cursed, shoved me, tried to push past, but I kept going faster. After about a minute, I reached a quieter side street. Only then did I risk turning around. No one there, just distant festival noise. I stood there, trying to figure out what to do, and that's when my phone rang. "Daniel." I answered immediately. "Where are you?" he asked. I turned around and you were gone. "Where'd you go?" Something heavy dropped in my stomach. I thought you were with me." A pause. "No," he said, "I've been at the same intersection. You disappeared into the crowd like 5 minutes ago." I didn't reply, because right then someone walked slowly past behind me. I didn't see a face, just a plain white mask and a purple bead necklace around their neck. The same one I'd picked up earlier. They didn't stop. They just kept walking down the dark street and vanished into the noise of the city. Daniel and I met back at the hotel half an hour later. He wasn't wearing a mask anymore. Said he must have dropped it in the crowd. I didn't tell him what happened that night, but since then, I know one thing about Mardi Gras. It's not just a place where people wear masks. Sometimes it's where the masks wear people. If you ever see a photo of yourself at Mardi Gras that you don't remember being taken, don't try to find the photographer, because sometimes that means someone has already found you. This happened in February 2020. In Mobile, 2 days before the main parade. I was there with my co-worker, Tom. We'd come for the weekend to relax, see the carnival, hear the music. During the day, it all looked like a travel brochure. Street musicians, bright balconies, vendors selling masks. The real night started after 10. The crowds got thicker. Street lights mixed with neon from the bars. People photographed everything. Each other, parades, random strangers. So when Tom showed me a photo on his phone, I didn't think anything of it at first. "Look," he said, "you just ended up in someone's shot." I looked at the screen. It was me, standing near an intersection, leaning slightly forward, like I was listening to something. "When did you take this?" I asked. "I didn't," Tom replied. "Someone just sent it to me." "Who?" He opened the chat. "Unknown number. No name. No avatar. Just a photo." I felt confused, but not scared. "Maybe someone took it and sent it by mistake," I said. Tom frowned. "No message, just the picture." I looked closer. Something felt off. I was facing away from the camera, but my head was turned slightly, as if I was looking directly at whoever took it. I didn't remember anyone standing there. "Strange," I said. "But it's a festival. Everyone's taking photos." We kept walking. 10 minutes later, Tom's phone lit up again. Another photo. This time, both of us were in it, walking through the crowd, taken from above like from a balcony. "That's not funny anymore," Tom muttered. I looked up. Balconies were full of people, plenty of them holding phones. Maybe someone was just messing around. "Block the number," I said. He nodded and put the phone away. We went into a bar for about 20 minutes. Then back out into the street. The night felt heavier now. People moved slower. Voices sounded duller. We decided to head back to the hotel. That's when my own phone vibrated. Unknown number. Photo. I opened it. It was me. Standing in front of our hotel entrance, the picture had been taken from above, like from a rooftop across the street. Slowly, I raised my head. Dark windows. No movement. My heartbeat sped up. "Tom," I said quietly. "Now he's texting me." Tom looked at the screen. "That's not random," he whispered. I scrolled. Under the photo, there was text. "You're almost there." A cold feeling settled in. "It's just some stupid prank," I said, though I didn't believe it. We entered the hotel in silence, took the elevator up. The hallway was empty. When we reached our room door, my phone vibrated again. Another photo. I opened it. It showed us standing in front of the door. Taken from the far end of the hallway, I slowly turned around. The corridor was empty. No people. No open doors. Just silence. Tom exhaled quietly. "He's here," he said. I felt the cold rise up my arms. I typed into the chat. "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. "No one, I just watch," I typed again. "Why?" Pause. Then, because during the carnival, everyone wants to be seen. We went into the room and locked the door. No more messages came. By morning, the number had deleted itself from my phone. We left the city that same day, and since then, I know one thing about Mardi Gras. It's not just the people who photograph the festival. Sometimes, the festival photographs you.